Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video. Please share the video. It would be greatly appreciated as well. Well, today we're going to be talking about IZM Radio with Sara and Tariq Nasheed. The debacle Sara created in some way, shape, and form. So my opinion is this is what got Sara fired. When Layla and Tariq Nasheed asked her, so do you think I'm a pimp? To Sara, and Sara said, you sound like a pimp, you talk like your talking points is like a pimp. I believe what I see. And then she goes, the way that you talk about relationships, the way that you talk about women, you always acting like we are all hoes and shit. You seem like you are a pimp. Who said that? Tariq said, who said that? And then, Sara replies, you did not say it, but you implied it. And I've been side-eyeing you, so you're saying that he did not say this, but he implied it. So basically, you're formulating your own opinion of the way Tariq Nasheed talks, the way that he interacts with people that call his radio station and talk to him on different shapes, on different locations of his different radio shows. So basically, if you believe that he's a pimp, you imply, and you saying that he implies that he's a pimp, he sounds like a pimp, he acts like a pimp, he talk like a pimp, then why the hell are you working for him? And how come you didn't do any research about Tariq Nasheed? How come you didn't type in Tariq Nasheed pimp 9 months ago? Why all of a sudden, a week ago, after you filmed this acting gig, that all of a sudden he's a pimp, or you're asking him questions about, is he a pimp? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Like, and you say that you're an intellectual person and you're smart and you're intelligent and you're a strong woman, and you don't want to be working for a pimp. So why didn't you do this research before you signed on to IZM Radio and you worked there for 9 months? That's what I'm confused about. And so I just didn't understand, like, when you answer the questions the way that you did, applying that you're saying that he implies that he's a pimp, the way that he talks about relationships, the way he assuming that all women are hoes, or he acting like all women are hoes. When you say something like that to your boss, you are demeaning your boss. You are disrespecting your boss live on air. So therefore, of course you're going to get fired. Of course you're going to be dismissed. And if you was intellectual, you would have answered them questions totally different. Or you wouldn't have answered them questions at all. You would have formulated a different type of hypotheses. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, after you exit the show, you got into your car and you did your first video. You didn't do not one video. You didn't do 2 videos. You did 3 videos. And then in each video, you consistently say that you have not disrespected Tariq Nasheed. You have not bashed Tariq Nasheed. You had not disrespected him. You didn't say anything bad about him. And you haven't disrespected him whatsoever. In all 3 videos, you have disrespected him. You have called him out his name. So you're saying that, okay, if Tariq called you out of your name, that, okay, so two wrong makes a right, basically. That's what you're saying. But the problem is you keep saying throughout these videos that you haven't said anything bad about him. You haven't said anything negative about him to this point. In every video, to this point, I haven't said nothing about him. But during the whole video, you're throwing shots and you're talking about him, and then you keep saying that I haven't said anything about him. I haven't said anything about him in these videos. Like the first video you made. You said, well, I just been fired, you know what I mean? Then you goes, Tariq fired me, it was long overdue. So when you say it was long overdue, you felt like there was some miscommunication. You felt like you guys wasn't getting along, but you continue to go to the show. You continue to perform your work duties. If you felt that way, why would you continue to go? Number one. Then number two, if you feel like he's a pimp and you believe that he's a pimp because you found this on social media, then you say that you're not about the gossip. But you said on the second video that you guess you are about the gossip because you believe what you saw on the internet. And then you said a barber told you that Tariq Nasheed was a pimp. So you're going by hearsay, you're going by gossip, and you say these things you don't stand for, but you're doing exactly what you say you don't stand for. You're doing it. You haven't done any research. If you did any research, you would have researched that, okay, he was hired to act like a pimp. He was hired for MTV. He was hired for this show. He was hired for this, or this is just a picture because it shows this, it shows that. So it's just like, okay, where's the intellectual part of you? And you said that you do so much about black empowerment, black power. If you were really about black power and empowerment, black people, the first thing that you wouldn't have did is go online and start to assassinate this man's character and talk negative about him, his wife, his shows, his accomplishment, then also talk negative about your co-host. And then go on your third video, you talked about suing Tariq Nasheed. You're talking about that there's so many lawyers, there's several lawyers that reached out to you, and you was on that third show and you were talking about, anybody's connected to any lawyers watching this, please let me know. Let me get your contact information. So if you're about black empowerment, once you have a disagreement with someone that is black and someone that you say you did look up to, why would the first thing that you do is rant, talk about his character, and then talk about suing him? It's just like you bring in all the stereotypes about people say negative about black women. The first thing black women do is to go get the police involved, go get the courts involved. So this is the first thing that you're going to do is go get the courts involved, go get the judges involved, go get the court system involved. Why would you do that? Why can't you just take your L gracefully and learn from your mistakes? And when I watched you get fired live on air, I was hoping that, okay, she made a big mistake. I just hope that she learned from this mistake and she doesn't go crazy and act up. And then you did exactly what I hope you wouldn't do, was get online and rant and call this man nigga. You called him so many niggas. You called him shiesty. You called him shady. You called him everything that you can. You called him a pervert. You said, I felt like I was around a pervert. You said you felt like you was attacked. You had to protect yourself. And he's coming after a young girl like me. He's coming after me, a young girl. He's calling me names. All that stuff that that you're saying about him to assassinate his character, but then the first thing you want to do is call a lawyer, bring it into the court system, and then you say that you hate white people. You say that you don't think white people should breathe the same air that you breathe, but yet you're going to go to their court system, you're going to go to their criminal justice system, you're going to go to their system to bring down a black man. So what does that say about your character? What does that say about you? If that's the first thing you're going to do, looking for an attorney. As soon as somebody black do me wrong, let me just go run to the system that I call foul, the system that I hate. So like, it's like you're totally confusing. I mean, like, confusing. So let's get on to your first video. You go, oh, me and Tariq wasn't getting along because I am an intellectual person. You have not shown that you was an intellectual person through the video of you getting fired. You didn't show any type of intellectual skills at all, any type of skills at all. And if I was someone looking to hire you, the way that you perform after you got fired, I wouldn't hire you, because now you're assassinating my character, you're assassinating the show, you're assassinating all the things that he has done. And then on top of that, you're going to the law. So what does that say about you? And you was like, oh, Tariq Nasheed doesn't put on anybody. He doesn't put on black people. He doesn't want to help black people. He's shiesty. I talked about him with Layla. I talked about him with Chris, and we all talked together, and we all said he was shiesty with the money. He wasn't really about helping black people. He wasn't really about helping me. That's what you said. He wasn't about helping me. He didn't help me. I would sit down and try to have conversations with him about business, about this, about that, and he wasn't trying to help me. He wasn't trying to further my career. He wasn't benefiting my career. He wasn't helping me. It's just like, it's all about you. Help you. Help you. That's all it was about. And Tariq didn't act fast enough to help you, so therefore you shitted all over him. And it's like, this was a build-up that you felt that he was a pimp, you felt that he wasn't helping black people, you felt that he was no good, you felt that he was shiesty, you felt that he wasn't paying you enough money. So when you have this type of behavior and you're harboring this type of attitude and negativity inside, then you're going to work every Tuesday with this guy that you feel this way about. Your mannerism, your behavior, your attitude is going to be easy picked up on that you feel this way. You don't think people don't know when you don't like them, when you can't stand them, and you think that they're two-faced, you think that they're fake, they're a nigger, they're not above empowerment, they're not empowering black people, they're all about their self. You said he was tight-lipped about giving information to help empower black people that are struggling. all that type of stuff. You felt like that before you went to this show that you got fired from. You know, so come on, like, people, you don't think people pick up on your behavior? They don't pick up on that kind of stuff. You don't think that's why Tariq did not trust you? Because you were showing how you felt. You was wearing your heart on your sleeve about your disdain, your disdain for Tariq Nasheed, for what he stood for. You didn't like it. You didn't like him, and you kept going to the show. So you're gonna think someone can't pick up on when someone doesn't like you? Come on. So where do you think you was? Did you think you was dealing with an average person that don't know behaviors, that don't know people, that don't know emotions? And then you called him an emotional ass nigga. You called him so many different names, but you kept continuing saying throughout your video that I never said anything bad about him. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I'm still not saying anything bad about him. But that was totally contrary to what you were displaying in each video. So when you're saying that you was an intellectual person, he goes, then you say, I don't like a bunch of foolishness. I don't like a bunch of bullshit. I don't like a bunch of gossip. But you got gossip from a barber, and then you got gossip from pictures from the internet, wherever else you heard from, because you felt, so you got gossip and you ran with that gossip to go ask your boss, what's he a pimp? So, but you don't like gossip, but you don't like bullshit, but you don't like foolishness, and all you did was show foolery. Very foolish. Live on air. That's all you showed. That's all you displayed was gossip and foolishness. That's what you displayed. But you say these are the things that you don't like, which is contrary to the way that you behave and the way that you talk in all 3 of your videos. And so then you go, I got a dad, I got 7 uncles, and they don't talk about foolish. They don't talk about foolish things. They don't talk about gossip. They don't have no time for that. So then why was you on IZM radio station? IZM radio station is an entertainment show. They talk about gossip. They talk about things going on in the news. They talk about serious stuff, as you know, because you was on the show. But there was gossip. It was entertainment. And then Tariq has 2 other serious shows, more serious than IZM radio. So what were you where did you think you was? Was you lost? Was you confused? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. On IZM radio, I heard you talk about, Atlanta housewife, things that happen on and the gossip situation. Even Claudia Jordan was on this show, and she's from reality TV. So what type of show did you think you was on? Would you thought you was on Meet the Press? So anyways, then you said that you and Tariq did not agree on anything. You didn't agree on anything. You didn't agree on nothing. Okay. What, do you supposed to agree on everything when you're on a show? You know what helps the show? When people have disagreements, when people don't agree on everything, because, some people play the devil's advocate. And you don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to agree on every situation, because everybody in this world don't agree on everything. Just like there's going to be people disagree with what I'm saying now. You know what I mean? So it's a given that you're not going to agree on everything. And then you go, Tariq is the type of man that doesn't like a woman to challenge him at all. So basically you're saying that Tariq doesn't like women that has an opinion, that women that doesn't have a brain. So basically you're saying that you're not intelligent, you don't have a brain, because you're saying that he doesn't like women that challenges him, that are intellectuals, that are intelligent. So basically you're saying you're none of these things, because you was you was sitting on the other side of him on this show for 9 months. So are you saying that you're that type of person? It doesn't make any sense. And then you consistently said in this video, I never disrespected him, but you called him shiesty, called him shady, called him a nigga. Said that nigga is only paying us $85. Shit. That nigga shiesty with the pay anyways. That's demeaning his character. That's saying that he doesn't want to pay out. They're saying that he's cheap and all that kind of stuff. So what are you talking about that you never disrespected him? It doesn't make any sense, my friends. And then you talk about, oh, me, Chris, and Layla, we used to always talk about how shysty he was with the pay, how shitty he was with the pay. For real, for real. You know, we always talked about him all the time. So you always talked about him all the time. You thought he was shysty. Then why did you continue to come to the show? So you don't think Tariq picked up on your behavior? You don't think the viewers picked up on your behavior, that you didn't like him? So it was a lot more this thing that you had from him, and you kept going on to the show and working. You said you're intellectual and you're intelligent. So why didn't you just quit before this even went down that road? Why didn't you just leave, bow out gracefully, part ways gracefully? Because you already said that you felt all these negative ways about him, and you said that your family thought he was negative. You said, your father felt like he was negative, and your closest friends felt like he was negative, and he wasn't about empowerment. So why did you continue to be on the show if you felt this way? And then you continue in this video to say, then you continue to say in this video, I don't feel the need to bash him. This is the second video. I don't feel no need to bash him. I seen photos of him dressed like a pimp. What am I supposed to think? Like, what are you supposed to think? Okay, it's entertainment. It's gossip. It's in the media, so it's probably not true. It could be Photoshop. Or do your research, because you're intellectual. You say you search so many different things, and you post to your Twitter and your Instagram about all types of knowledgeable stuff. Well, how come you didn't take the time and the knowledge to search if Tariq was a pimp or not before you asked him that question? You asked your boss that question. That's just like me asking my boss, do you cheat on your wife? You know what I mean? It's not appropriate at all to do that. And especially not appropriate if I don't have any facts behind it to back it up. If I say to my boss, hey, are you cheating on your wife because I was talking to this girl named Melissa, and Melissa said that she's dating you and she's been to your house and she showed me pictures of you, and she also showed me how you paid for this or you paid for that. She has receipts. So this is why I feel the need to ask you this question, because I just want to know, because I don't want to be caught up in the middle of something that I don't want to be caught up in. So if you'd have got your facts together, then you formulated a question to ask him, okay, Tariq, I believe you're a pimp, or I kind of think that you're a pimp because of these pictures, because the way that you talk about relationships, the way that you talk about women, which you said on the video that you got fired, that he did not actually talk like that, but he implied it. He implied it. So you assume, you're guessing again, which you don't do when you're trying to come to somebody factual. You're really trying to get some information. You come with your facts. You come with your receipts. You come with an understanding of why you want to know this information, not to just be lollygagging and bringing gossip information to the equation, when you already know Fox News has been trying to pinpoint Tariq as a pimp and all this other negative stuff about him, and you know the good things that Tariq has did for the community, how he paid for the young man that got shot and killed, he paid for his whole funeral, and all the other young actors that he put on to give them credits so they can say, hey, I worked on a movie, I produced this, I produced that, giving them credit to do that. And also he put you in the movie, so he has helped your career. He's been helping your career, but he wasn't helping you fast enough. And you had ears, you had people in your ears telling you, oh, Tariq is not, I give Tariq the side eye, I don't. And then you talked about people in the community that do real work in the community, gives Tariq the side eye, they don't really fuck with him and all this other stuff. And he was like, oh, my brother knows people that don't mess with him. So you basically was around a bunch of people telling you negative shit about your boss, and then you believe what they had to say, and you brought it back. You brought that energy to the show, and it was evident, and anybody could pick it up, especially Tariq. He picked it up. So you were wearing your whole idea, you was wearing your whole heart, your feelings and everything on your sleeves. So it was easy to pick up that you didn't like him, that you didn't believe in the movement, you didn't believe in empowerment. Because if you don't believe that Tariq is about that, then why are you on the show? Why? You know what I mean? Why? So anyways, you talked about that. Then you talked about black people in the community don't really F with Tariq because they give him the side eye and all this other stuff. And, your brother knows all these other YouTubers that we all might know. And they give Tariq the side eye. And this is way before I even moved to LA. So before you even got onto the Tariq show, the IZM radio show, you had all this negative stuff that you heard about him and you believed in, because evidently you do believe it, because you displaying it here wholeheartedly on every video that you have put out since you've been fired. So therefore, you just came in there like a bat out of hell. So that's why he didn't trust you. That's why he didn't want you close to him. That's why he didn't want you at his house. That's why he didn't want to chill with you. But he was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But deep inside, you was harboring this hate and this disdain and this dislike for Tariq by people that was putting things in your ear, things, and then pictures you seen online. You know how many Photoshop pictures there are? Are you serious? And it's just too much. So anyways, and then, you know, you go, you call Tariq a simp ass nigga on the second video. Okay, so you're still saying that you haven't disrespected him, you haven't talked bad about him, but you called him a simp ass nigga. And then you go on and says Tariq doesn't care about struggling black people. That's demeaning his character. That's demonizing him. That's saying everything that Tariq stands for is a lie, that it's not true, because he helped you. He put you on. He's giving you followers. He's giving you a job. On top of that, you were in a movie, and he brought you a bed, and he's giving you the avenue where you can empower black people, and you can also do a side hustle after the IZM radio station, start your own channel and start your own stuff. So he gave you opportunity. He has put you on, but you still say that he doesn't want to help struggling black people. You're struggling and he was helping you. Okay, another contradiction. And then you go on. Then Sara goes, I'm not all about that gossip stuff, but the show was about gossip and entertainment. And then sometimes you would talk about political stuff. But when he based the show, he talked about that this is like an entertainment show. And, you know, and if you didn't like it, you should have left. Or you should have been intellectual, where you can insert your intellectualness into the radio show and talk about empowerment black people and empowerment this and stuff like that, because you are intellectual, as you say. So you could have still used that avenue if you knew how to insert yourself intellectually in the conversation and on the topics where you can empower black people. So anyways, then you say, oh, you know, with my real friends, my real family, my private family, I will always talk about how Tariq was negative, how Tariq wasn't really about helping people. So you were saying that every time you get off the show, you would talk to your mom, you would talk to your real friends and say Tariq ain't really about helping black people. He ain't really about helping nobody at all. That's disrespecting him. That's demeaning his character. That's calling him a liar. That's calling him fugazi. That's calling him fake when it's not true. So you said, and then on top of that, so you said every time after the show you would do this. So you had a bunch of people co-signing your buffoonery, your ignorantness, where you would get, so if you talk every time after the show, you're talking to all these people that are your family members and your friends, your private family, your private friends, about Tariq and the show and all this other stuff. So it shows that you had disdain and you didn't like him for a long time, and you wore that all in the studio. You wore that everywhere you went because you had a negative vibe, a negative energy. And you're gonna tell me Tariq couldn't pick up on that? You're gonna tell me the viewers couldn't pick up on that? Come on. So you didn't trust him and you didn't like him and you had a disdain from him long before you got fired. Long before you asked him about a pimp, about if he was a pimp or not. So you was harboring hate for him a long time ago and disdain for him, because you were saying he ain't really trying to help nobody. He ain't trying to do nothing for nobody. He ain't trying to do nothing for no black people. And this was way before, because you said every time I get out the show, I would talk to them and tell them about this. So that's how you felt about him. So if you felt that way, why would you continue to work with him for 9 months? Right? Why would you? And then you're talking about you want to know who you work for. If you felt this way about him, why would you continue to go on the show? Why would you continue to do that if you felt this way? And you know what I mean? So it didn't make any sense. So people can pick up on negative energy, negative vibes. People can pick up on people that don't like them, that that have jealousy, have hatred in their heart for them. You know what I mean? And you had a choice. Well, you said the shiesty nigga only paid us $85, so $85 ain't nothing to you. That's what you said. You said $85 ain't nothing to me. I make $1,500 modeling for my modeling gigs or whatever. I don't get paid for black empowerment. But the first thing you kept saying, the nigga only paid us $85 and he was shiesty with it. He was shiesty with it. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't about the money, then you're talking about for 1805 or 1804 that I didn't even get paid for that. So you were about the money. You wanted money. You wanted what he had. You wanted what his wife had. You wanted that. You wanted this type of stuff. So if he was giving you dough, if he was just throwing that money at you, you'll be quiet, right? And I also like to say, if Tariq was white, would you get into his car and say, hey, I got weed on me? If he was white, would you call him a pimp? Or is it just so easy to tear down and disrespect a black man that showed you love and gratitude and helped you out, gave you game, gave you followers, gave you Instagram followers, gave you Twitter followers, gave you a platform to talk? So many other young women would have want that position and would have treated it very differently and would have did a lot more than you done with it. They wouldn't have had hate and jealousy in their heart like you did. And it's like you want that gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, I didn't get nothing for that movie. You know how many people would love to just be in the movie and not get paid for it? Because they can put that on their resume. You know what I mean? You can put being on IZM Radio on your resume. That's a hell of a good start for a 26-year-old. That's a decent start. So anyways, and then you said you, Layla and Chris will always try to ask Tariq for help. We will always try to ask him for help, and he was tight-lipped about everything. He wouldn't give us no help, or he wouldn't help us be successful. How is he not helping you be successful when he gave you a platform where you can take this platform and make it $1 million platform? You could have been doing that. If you watch his videos, you didn't even watch Hidden Colors. If you watched his videos, if you watched him, you would have been able to pick up on a lot more. You know what? Because being quiet sometimes and just watching and paying attention, you learn even that quicker. And you could have learned a lot. But instead of learning, you had hate and disdain in your heart, and you would go gossip about him with your private family, your private friends, and you said you gossip with Layla, you said you gossip with Chris, then you threw Layla and Chris under the bus, then you threw his barber under the bus. What kind of loyalty do you have? You have no loyalty. So if you're looking for a job, you're not going to get a job. No one's going to want to be next to you unless it has to be bringing down Tariq. Anybody that co-sign with you is going to want to have a helping hand and bringing down Tariq. Fox News might be calling you, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, yo, like, what are you talking about? And it's just sad to see how you just rabbled and unfold in public in front of us. And every black woman ain't like you. Every black woman ain't like you, because a lot of black women with that opportunity could have took that opportunity and made it $100,000 opportunity and would have been grateful and would have been happy and wouldn't have been talking to their family and their friends about he's shiesty, he's this, he's that. He's not about empowering black people. He's a shady ass nigga. He's a nigga this, and he's an emotional nigga. And you keep saying in these videos that I didn't say anything bad about Tariq, and I'm still not saying anything bad about Tariq, and then you go, he's an emotional nigga. It's like, come on, girlfriend, what's going on? So anyways, it's just like, okay, this girl, she just really went there. And you was like, me, Chris, and Layla always tried to share information with Tariq and try to get information from Tariq, but he wouldn't help us. And that nigga wouldn't help us. That nigga didn't want to share no information with us. He didn't want to share nothing with us. Like, that's disrespectful, calling him a nigga, saying he didn't want to share information. He was sharing a lot of information with you. He shares a lot of information with the world to help them. And he put you on a platform where you can flip that platform and make it anything that you wanted to make out of it on the side. You only work Tuesdays, 2 hours with him. You could have had your own radio station, your own podcast, all types of stuff that you could have been doing to flip that situation. To say, hey, Tariq, could you come on my show? Or who do you think I should have on my show? Could you help me out? But you didn't have that type of attitude. It was gimme, 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 help me. So it was all about that. And then you was like, oh, Tariq didn't put me on. Yes, he did put you on. I didn't know shit about you until I seen you on IZM, and until I seen Tariq with you. You know what I mean? That's the only time. And then you go like, oh, Tariq didn't help my career. I already had a career before Tariq. So then why did you need career advice from Tariq? Why did you need help from Tariq if you already had a career? You had a career before Tariq. Why did you need the help if you already had a career? Then you said you run your own business. So why do you need his help? Like, if you run your own business, you have your own career, and so why do you need my help? Why do you need his help if you already have that? So you already know the foundation, you already know the format. So why do you need his help? It don't make no sense. And then you also said, oh, he wasn't even giving us advertising money. So everything was about money. First you go, I do this empowerment shit for free. I don't get paid to do empowerment stuff. I get paid for modeling $1,500. But yet, in the next breath, you go, we wasn't even getting advertising money. Why would you get advertising money when it's not your show, when it's not your channel? You're just a co-host. And you're given an opportunity to have your own advertising money. But yet, you're not looking at your own. You're looking at what he has. You're looking at what he has. What does the old saying say? Never show your plate to a nigga that's hungry, because they'll come after you and do shit that she's doing. They would demean you, try to demolish your credits, and then on top of that, take you to court, take you to the white man's court that she says she hates white people. She says she don't even want white people to breathe the same air as she breathes, but yet she's ready to run to their court system, which don't make any sense. I mean, it's just like, then you said Tariq is a old pervert ass nigga. That's how I saw him. So you saw him as an old pervert ass nigga. So you're gonna so when you go in to do your radio show, so you think he's shiesty, you think he doesn't put nobody on, you think he's selfish, you think he doesn't help anybody, you think he is fake, you think he's shiesty with the money, and then now you think he's a pervert, and you said you didn't trust him, you say he's a pimp. So you don't think that you gave out this vibe of how you felt about him when you interact with him? You're not that intellectual where you can hide it, sweetheart. Because you couldn't even hide it in the videos. You keep saying in the videos, I'm not going to disrespect him. I never said anything bad about him. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. And I still haven't said anything about him. But you called him an old pervert ass nigga in your second video. You know what I mean? So why you keep saying you're not saying nothing bad about him? You said I didn't say nothing bad about him on the show, but then when you did the videos, you goes, I haven't said nothing bad about him now, and I'm still not gonna say nothing bad about him. I'm not gonna bash him to social media. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about him. But you call him an old pervert ass nigga. You call him shiesty. You say he's not about helping black people. He's fake. He's shady. He don't put nobody on, and all that other stuff that I reiterated earlier. And then you go, my own dad said he doesn't listen to the show, anymore. So you got your father, you got your mother, you got your friends, you got your brother, you got everybody in your ear telling you all this negative stuff about Tariq, boosting your head up. And then on top of that, you think he's a pervert. And then now you're going to work with this guy. You don't think you didn't give out that energy. You don't think people couldn't pick it up that you was like that. So that's the reason why Tariq didn't trust you, because you felt like this from jump. I know when somebody don't like me. I know when somebody can't stand me. I know when somebody's out to get me. But you know what? I try not to be so overly judgmental or be so like, okay, they're like that, let me give them a benefit of a doubt. I'm gonna see, and then but I still got my guards up, and if they prove me wrong, I'm happier than a mother sucker. But then if they prove me right, then I know, like, so you can't take from me, you can't hurt me. So that's why you was in that position of a not trust position, because you was carrying all this. It's easy to pick up, it's easy to read, especially someone that knows people, someone that be around people all the time, someone that always be around people, someone that does lectures. You don't think Tariq knows a thing or two, my friend? That's why you looked up to him. That's why he was your mentor. But yet you didn't really look up to him, and he really wasn't your mentor, because you really didn't like him from Jump Street. Because you said before you came to LA, everybody was telling you negative shit about him. Black people that was in the community didn't fuck with him like that. So you was about that. And then after that, you said about my father don't even listen to Tariq anymore. You said Tariq is an emotional ass nigga. And you go, why would a grown man argue with me? Because you need a wake-up call. And too bad you didn't learn from this wake-up call. You didn't learn anything from this wake-up call. And I hope that somewhere, somehow, there's somebody with some knowledge and some wisdom that could tell you where you went wrong and what you did wrong, because evidently you don't see it and you're not getting it. And it's sad because every black woman is not like you at all. We don't do stuff like that. We don't run to the courts. You know, I don't run to this and I don't run to that. I don't try to bring down somebody that I looked up to. I don't call them perverts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, it's crazy. And so then after that, you talked about, you know, you was like, oh, he called me a bad wench, I'm a bad wench, or whatever. But you said that you don't like white people, you hate white people and all this other stuff, but you went on a date with a white guy, a date. But you go, oh no, I went on a date with him before I knew about consciousness. Okay. Who believes that? Then you go, oh, a white man paid for my birthday dinner. And you was like, oh, and a white man owes me. I believe white people owe me. But if you don't like them, you can't stand them, you don't want them to breathe the same air as you, why would you want anything from them? Why would you assume that they owe you? Why would you say that? Then you go, Tariq doesn't even know me. Tariq never hung out with me. Tariq never knew who I was. I only spent like 2 hours or maybe an hour every Tuesday with Tariq. We never spent any time together. You sound like you were hurt that he didn't trust you, but I gave you all the reasons why he didn't trust you, because you was harboring this stuff inside and it's easy to read and pick up on. And you probably was showing it and talking and didn't even know that you were displaying these behaviors that you felt inside outwardly, and he picked up on it. And then why would you want to spend time with him? Why would you want to get to know him if you think he's a pervert and he's shysty with the money? He's not about real empowerment. He doesn't want to help black struggling people. He doesn't want to put anybody on. He's tight-lit about all the situation. He doesn't want intellectual, intelligent women around him. He only wants to be surrounded by young women because he can control them. So now you're saying that he's a male chauvinist pig and he doesn't want any woman around him with a brain. Then why were you there? So you're saying that you don't have a brain? So why would you want to hang out and spend time with Tariq if you felt all this way about him? And you felt like this months and months ago, which you said in your videos. And then you go, oh, you know, everybody think everything this nigga say ain't the Bible. So everything this nigga say ain't the Bible. You called him so many niggas. It was so messed up. And then you called us. You said, all y'all believe everything this nigga say about me. Now you're saying that we believe everything. Then you go, I'm over it. I didn't even get paid for 1804 about that money. And then you go, I worked with celebrities before. You know, Tariq ain't my first celebrity, basically. And you go, I tried to call this emotional ass nigga after you got fired and everything settled down. You tried to call him. Why would you want to call an emotional ass nigga? Why would you want to call him? Why would you want to talk to him when he's a pervert, when he's no good, when he's telling people to go out and date biracial women? When you talked about his wife, when you talked about Layla, when you called him a pervert, called him a thief in so many different words, you discredit everything that he did. And you felt this way about him. Your mother, your father, they told you that, you know, you said you had these conversations that he's not real, for real. He's not real. He's not about that real life or empowering black people. If he's not about all that and you felt this way, why would you want to call him? If he's an emotional ass nigga, why would you want to talk to him? Why would you even want him to be next to you? I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. Usually when it doesn't make sense, it's a lie. Ask Judge Judy. And then you go, Tariq is not about empowering black people for real, but yet you want to reach out to him and talk to him, right? You know why you wanted to reach out and talk to him? Because you knew you messed up. You knew you messed up your opportunity. You knew you fucked up. You knew you went wrong. You knew you exposed how you really felt about Tariq when he asked you the question, do you think I'm a pimp? Him and Layla. And you exposed how you really felt about him. And you knew you messed up. And so you was trying to correct that, but it was too late. It was too late, sweetheart. You exposed you, and that's what happens. When Tariq said he gave you the benefit of the doubt, he gave you enough rope and you hung yourself. That's what you did. You exposed who you were. And then the first thing you do is go run to the criminal justice system that you spoke on, that you don't like, that they're not fair and all this other stuff. And you don't want white people bringing the same air as you, and you don't want to be around them, but you're going to go right to that criminal justice system. You exposed your own self, sweetheart. And so then, right after you said that, Tariq is not about empowering black people, for real, for real. This is the second video. I never disrespected him. I still ain't said nothing bad about him. Then you talked about, oh, you didn't like Tariq because he had a biracial wife, and you gave him the side eye for that. If you gave him the side eye about that, and you didn't agree that he should be with talking about black empowerment and having a biracial wife, why would you go on IZM Radio? Why would you work with him? Why would you be in the same room with him? And then you kept saying, oh, how black is she? Because she was raised by a white woman and she has a white sister. So it just sounds like jealousy. It sounds like you wanted to be in his wife's shoes. And also, if you felt that way, you wouldn't tie yourself to Tariq. You wouldn't be on IZM Radio. You wouldn't be there. You know? And then you said, oh, years ago, old video that Tariq was saying that everybody should go get a biracial wife because they're more servant to their husbands or their boyfriends or whatever. If you heard this video a long time ago or whatever, why would you go and work on his show? Why would you sit next to him? So you had all this disdain for him for so long. He picked up on it, but he was probably hoping that you wasn't like that. But he was wrong. You were like that. Then he goes, I gave him a side eye for that. It's like, yo, you need some help. And so then you was like, oh, and then after that you go, I'm not even gonna, and he goes, oh, white woman raised her. I'm side-eyeing you, nigga. Calls him a nigger again. Then you go, I am not going to rag on this man. But you did. You just did. You go, he surrounds himself about nothing but young women because he wants them to not have an opinion, to be clueless. So you're saying that you were clueless. That's why he surrounded himself around you. You're saying that you didn't have an opinion. You're saying that you're not intellectual because in the first video you did, you said you was intellectual. But you're saying he surrounded himself around you and so you're clueless. So anyways, and he goes, oh, my dad even said ain't nothing a 25-year-old woman can give me anything. So you had all these conversations about Tariq private life, Tariq this and that, and it's all negative. So you're gonna think that you didn't give out that aura when you came in his space? Come on. And he goes, he was like, this nigga didn't like me from jump. No, you didn't like this. You did not like Tariq from jump. Because you talked about all these things way before you came to LA. And all these past stuff. And all this harboring hate you had. And disdain for Tariq. And you're working right next to him. Why would you put yourself in this situation? Because you said you already have a career. And you said you make $1,500 a show. And then you said that you work with so many different celebrities. So why did you stand next to Tariq? I don't get it. Neither do you. Then you go, he never was positive towards me. He never said anything positive towards me. He never said my acting was good. He never said anything about me. I don't want to be around a grown man that makes me feel unsure about myself. You feel unsure about yourself because you don't like this man. You can't stand this man and you're in his presence. So no matter what he say to you, you're going to take it the wrong way because you're talking to your brothers, your family, and everybody else, and probably fans of yours about how, and then you talking about other YouTubers, your brother's friends, saying they don't mess with Tariq. Tariq is this, Tariq is that. They give him the side eye. So that's why you feel unsure about yourself, because you don't like this man and you don't want to be around him, and you're always talking negative about him. Now you're working with him, so you feel unsure because you know how you feel about him, and you know he's showing you love and he's helping you, but you still don't like him. And he ain't helping you fast enough. Your career is not jumping off fast enough. But you said you already had a career. So you feel you need to work on yourself first before you start judging and dumping on other people. Calling this man a pervert. And so it was just too much. You were just too much. And then you go, I'm not going to work with somebody that's not going to benefit my career. So it's all about you. Again, it's all about you, your career. It's not about black empowerment. She goes, I'm not going to hang out with somebody that's a former pimp. That's how you end. I'm not going to hang out with somebody that's a former pimp. So at the end of the video, you still called him a pimp, which you have no proof and no evidence of. You still call him a pimp. You know what I'm saying? And so then you go on to another show. So then after your 2 videos, you go into a show, and then then you talk about, how come Tariq doesn't see me like a baby? How does Tariq doesn't see me like a baby? I'm a baby. I'm a baby. Why would you say that? So that already shows that you wanted everything from him. You wanted him to treat you like a baby. Then you go, I don't know why Tariq didn't see me like his daughter, or formulate that I was close to his daughter's age. We're 9 years apart. And and then you go, my father, my stepfather, anybody my age that see as a baby, Tariq is not your father. And he didn't want no baby on the show. He wanted a grown, intellectual woman, which you said you were, but now you're saying that you're a baby. I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. So I'm gonna leave it on that. I'm just a baby. You was a baby in big girl shoes, and you couldn't handle it. You was a baby trying to play the role of empowerment Black people. You was a baby when you was giving out relationship advice. You was a baby when you was dogging out people. You was a baby when you was calling Tariq all this stuff and saying all this negative stuff and talking about this, that. But you was a baby. How come he doesn't see me like a baby? I'm a baby. I'm so close to you're not his child. And it gives validity to when Tariq said that you wanted him to be like your father. You wanted him to be your father. You wanted him to take care of you. You wanted him to give you handouts. When he already gave you the biggest handout far is being on IZM Radio, a big, huge platform when you can talk and blow it up, especially at your age 26 till, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, could be on top, or even sooner than that. But yeah, I'm a baby. So how does a baby have a business? How does a baby model? How does a baby get into relationships? How come you see me like my daughter? So anyways, you made yourself really look bad. And all Black women are not like you. When we get an opportunity, a lot of us, when we get an opportunity, we take that opportunity to the mountains, and we respect the person that gave us that opportunity, and we look up to them. And even if they might have disappointed me or whatever, I would never bash them. I would never call them names. I would never do any of that stuff. You know what? You should have did it in private. If you was going to go to the course and say he did this, he defamed me, whatever, you should have never did your 3 videos. You should have just kept them off close and go find your attorney. But you're a baby, right? Doesn't make any sense. And so to all the Black men out there, all of us Black women are not like that. We're not shiesty. We don't turn our backs as soon as things get hard or whatever. And then I'm not going to be up in your face if I don't like you, if I think you're a pimp, if I think you're a pervert, if I think you a male misogynist pig, or if I think that you only surround yourself around young clueless women because you want to control them and dominate them. You know what I mean? Like if I felt a way about a person, I'm not going to be in their face acting like I'm down with them or I'm with them or I'm rocking with them. You know what? Because I can't be fake like that. I got to remove myself because my soul, my aura, everything that I believe in wouldn't let me do that at all. And it's important that, she was exposed because people, every Black person can't be saved. Every Black person ain't down with the cause. There's so many fake of them all around the place acting like they're down with the cause, but and soon something go down, they're down on 911, they're calling the police to put somebody in jail, or they start a riot so somebody can get killed, or they do this type of stuff, crowd rioting and all this other stuff to get things going. This has happened in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s or whatever. So you got to be aware of women like this that laugh in your face and act like they're down with you and for the cause, but be ready to stab you in the back and be ready to call the law on you quickly. That's what happened to Dr. Khalil Muhammad. You know what I mean? So beware. But all of us ain't like this. Some of us are real sisters with real hearts and love our Black man. I got Black brothers. I got Black males in my life that I love, and I never want to see nobody tear them down, especially on a public forum. You know what I mean? Especially when it wasn't you. You opened the door for that when you said, "I believe you a pimp." The way you talk, the way you give advice, the way you think all women are hoes. And he goes, did I say that? And you know what you said, Sara? You imply that. So he didn't even say the shit. You just implied it. You just say, you imply that. You know what I mean? Fake. What's the old saying say? God don't like ugliness. And never show your plate to a nigga that's hungry, because they'll do anything for attention or try to eat off that plate. Now you must call the law. I'm out.